have to the city hall.
Who's the judge?
The same one that's always been, Mr. Judge Reeves.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to go and get my things from there. To remove everything.
No, ma'am.
Can't go back in the city hall?
She can go back in the city hall as a citizen, not as a mayor.
Oh, so
You cannot. You can go to the city council meeting, but not as a mayor.
So oh, that's what that's for.
This is what this is all about.
This is the Ghetto Free Press, and we just understand that undoubtedly they saying she can not go back as mayor.
Hello, how you doing?
It seems as if though what they've been doing in Meigs is now applicable here in
I was
Gordon.
getting it today.
They say she can go to City Hall, but not as mayor this evening. And they waited until right before the meeting tonight.
Clerk's office at 4:25 today.
Who filed?
The Terry Edie, Freddie Dennis, Amanda Bates, and the
You call your attorney?
No, I'm going to
Call him.
right now.
Before you sign it, call your attorney.
Let me give you all this.
Greetings, this is the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Foster Rhymes, the voice. We believe under our form of government that you have a right to the truth and to know what is happening in your beloved community. This morning, Father's Day, we're going to reflect on what I have been reporting on for months, years, and in some cases, decades. Today we want to focus on my last journey to the little small towns here in the state of Georgia. Let's walk through a few of the areas where citizens have concern here in the state of Georgia. Listen, please. Greetings. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Foster Rhymes. I'm in Smithville, Georgia, little small town that was established in 1863. Just right outside of America, Georgia, a few miles as I on my way to Meigs City Council meeting tonight. It must be noted that I was called probably about 2 months ago about other small towns, not just Quitman, Meigs, Dawson, Davisboro, Warrington, Gordon, not just the ones that I've talked about, but it's about 11 cities in Georgia. And so I just went and I sat down while here. I sat down with the mayor of this small town, and be that as it may, but my major focus was on a little town called Meigs, Georgia. And when I got into Meigs, I found out that a public meeting, in fact, before I left South Georgia or Valdosta, my goal was to come into the little small town of Meigs. And once I got into Meigs, well, listen to what happened. I think it's pretty nice that
must understand that Meigs is the city wherein I was called, and I walked the streets. It first started out with voodoo. They say the mayor was putting voodoo all around her desk in City Hall. And eventually they banned her from her own office, and then they moved her to another office. They changed the locks on on her doors there. Then they totally banned her from City Hall. And she is working without even getting paid in the state of Georgia. And you must know that. And so everything that she's going through, she has to pay for it out of her own pocket, because the city attorney cannot represent or will not represent her. And I just never seen nothing like that. It's not just a black or white thing, because right people in Meigs also are asking questions. What in the hell is going on in the state of Georgia? Let us continue to report what others ignore. Free press, and I'm in Meigs, Georgia. I just left Atlanta. I came through West Point, Georgia, then from there to Americas. I stopped by Smithville and talked to the mayor in that little small town. And now I'm here in Meigs. We were expecting a meeting tonight. I hear some citizens gathering here, and they say that there will not be a meeting. I don't know how that can be. They say there was a sign posted, even of the agenda. But now the signs are taken down. And the only way I can find out what's going on is to talk to somebody here in town. I told y'all there's something wrong in the state of Georgia, and we need the governor of the state of Georgia. And people are wondering why Governor Deal, Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, Georgia Attorney General Sam Olens, in fact, as well as Eric Holder of the Justice Department, because many of the problems here in South Georgia are dealing with civil rights, and we do have a civil rights division in the Department of Justice. Many of these mayors, I'm told, have contacted all agencies possible trying to get help, but nothing happens. Most all of my videos goes to some area of law enforcement, the Justice Department, civil rights organizations, women rights organizations, and still it seems as if though we're in Russia, China, or some other third world communist, no heard of nation. Listen, please. Georgia Attorney General, the Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, somebody must address these problems in these little small towns. But look. You don't have to listen to me. Let's listen to others. And once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm in the little small town of Meigs. We just looked on the door. I was told there would be a meeting tonight. This is not the first time this has happened. If you check out Meigs' playlist, you will see where we had other meetings just like this. They posted it on the door, yet there was no meeting. In several cases, the mayor didn't even know that the meeting had been canceled, just like the regular citizens that attended. All this information have been passed on to one form or another. The Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, Georgia Attorney General, the Governor of the state of Georgia, and others, and yet these citizens don't know what's going on. Not only black people, but all the citizens of Meigs is asking, are we a state of laws? But then again, nothing seems to be done. It seems like all of this is to circumvent the power of the ballot of the voters in the small towns where newly elected black mayors are serving at the will of the American people. So we're not talking about Iraq, Iran, or Afghanistan, or these foreign nations of the world. We are talking about what's happening in the state of Georgia, and this has been documented and sent to the government officials in Thomas County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States Justice Department. And yet, well, you listen. I came from Atlanta by way of West Point, Americas, Georgia, stopped in Smithville to talk to the mayor there. And now I'm here in Meigs. I was expecting a meeting tonight. And I can tell you what the speculation may be from what I've heard on the street. But this is Mayor Linda Harris. We're going to let her tell you, as Paul Hart would say, the rest of the story.
Well, we had posted on the community center door that there was going to be a special call council meeting tonight. I spoke to Mayor Pro Tem LaVon Gassett and several of the council members, and they informed me that they could be here at 6:30 tonight. But I got a call from Mayor LaVon Gassett, and he stated that the council members, they said it wasn't enough council members who were informed about the meeting to be here, so he was.
This has already been documented. The previous meeting was the same way. You've seen this on the video. They said they didn't have a quorum. Yet, I turned my camera and showed you the vehicles that those council members were in. They got out of them and they left City Hall. And yet, this information was passed on to the leaders in the state of Georgia. And this mayor says she has not received anything back from the Secretary of State or any agency in the state of Georgia. Eric Holder of the Justice Department, I'm sure, should have knowledge of this. So if the voters here in the United States of America are not respected by those in powers and positions of authority, what is left for the voters and the citizens here in the United States to do? What alternative do we and they have? Now that's a legitimate question that even people in the third world countries should ask the President of the United States under our form of government.
Canceling it. I tried to call him back and let him know that I had spoken to enough council members to have the meeting for tonight. He hung the phone up on me. I tried to call back thinking it was a bad reception. He didn't answer the phone. And I left a message and he still hasn't gotten back with me. But these are the concerned citizens that's here that participate in the council meetings, and they're here to have a council meeting that has been canceled.
Now, if this meeting had been canceled, and if I got the book in the car, if the handbook about the sunshine and open records in the state of Georgia and transparency in government. Now, if that handbook has any legitimacy to it at all, don't you think that that somebody in the state of Georgia, when they see this happening over and over and over again for month after month after month, and they don't take no action on it? Now, that is very disturbing, I'm sure, for the people who are serving in uniform in the United States on foreign battlefields to protect the rights of others, while their mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and friends here in the homeland don't have the votes and respect of that vote to see the person that they put in office carry out the duties and responsibilities that were thrust upon them, although she's not getting paid. This is what it is.
So, I don't know what we're going to do to get some compliance. I don't know what state level we're going to have to go to get some help here in the city of Meigs. I've called everybody, from the senator to the commissioners, all the way up to the governor's office, and I can't get any help. They said it's an intergovernmental mess here, and
an intergovernmental mess. Did you hear what they say? This mayor that was elected by the people, not by a coup, not under any other form of government, but under the freedom that they say that we have, this mayor was elected. Yet all these things has happened in Georgia. And do you not know the Honorable Governor Nathan Deal, the Georgia General Assembly, nobody, not even the civil rights leaders, the women rights leaders. What's going on? Now, I didn't create this. You can get mad at me, but I didn't create this. All I'm doing is reporting what others will not report. So the good American people should thank me for doing this, but you probably won't. But listen, please.
I'm trying to get to the bottom of the problem, trying to resolve the problem, so far as to get my own attorney like they told me that I had to get, being that our city attorney won't support me with these matters.
Madam Mayor, why do you feel, what's your comments about having to take money out of your own pocket to defend yourself on behalf of the citizens when I'm told you don't even get paid for the position?
Right. It's not a paid position. I came in knowing that I would be volunteering.
Some people hit me up on YouTube, say they don't understand how can a person do this in the United States and not get paid.
For the position. I put in a lot of voluntary time over the years anyway, so that part didn't really matter to me. I didn't know that I was going to have to fight this kind of fight. But yeah, it disturbs me that I have to go and get my paid money. Well, I've had help from the concerned citizens. That's why they want this issue resolved bad enough to help raise money for the legal fund to get this resolved, because they want to see our city go forth. And they elected me as the mayor, and they want to see me get over there very badly.
Okay, are you aware that in Gordon, Georgia, Mayor Ann Whippaloo was removed from office for 60 days by order of a Superior Court Judge, Robert S. Can't think of his last name right now, but Reeves. He was removed, therefore circumventing the rights of the voters to have the person that they want to represent them. So as we look at what's happened to her, I understand that after 3 weeks of taking office over there in Gordon, Georgia, that she asked for an audit. Now, the reason I'm bringing up and asking this question about the audit, because this mayor, just like the mayor in Gordon, Georgia, asked for a forensic audit of the books and about the tax-paying dollars. Now, you won't see much of that in the newspaper. You don't see much about that on the TV stations in Gordon, Georgia. You are going to see how Channel 41 asked me some pertinent questions. I appreciate all questions. But the fact remains they are all pointing towards the mayor in terms of open government, sunshine law, and possibly taking money. But Councilman Reese talked about 19 banking accounts in a little city with less than 3,000 people. And yet, we don't see that much being talked about in the news media. In the news media about the money, about the 19 banking accounts, and why they need so many. So the beef of what's happening in these small towns are not being reported, not being investigated. And we base our country on investigative reporting, such as going in and finding out about these 19 accounts, finding out some balances in the books, finding out the real deal. Because I was taught that behind the man is a hidden hand and another man with another hand behind another man, and he too have a hidden hand. And so that's what I was taught. But it seems as if though our news media just want to focus on the mayor here, the mayor there, and 9 or 10 other mayors. And if you're not careful, many of these people go to jail simply because somebody had another agenda. Listen, please. It seems like it's always the money that's creating the problems in these small cities. Now looking back with your situation, I have people on my YouTube. Here's a question they asked me about Meigs. They said, you are covering Gordon, but what is the update on Meigs? So would you give us a recap of what you have been through, short form, in terms of what you've been through? Have you been arrested? Have you received any trespass warning? Can you explain that to the people who want to know? And there's no news media here to report it, so I got to report it.
Yes, I've been arrested, and in fact, this is my second time I was arrested. This in April. In fact, it was April 19th. There was a warrant taken out on me on April 16th that I wasn't even aware of. There was a warrant taken out on me for my arrest for the previous administration. I've gone through turmoil. I've gone through my reputation being tarnished.
Now, why would anybody, any citizen in the state of Georgia, let alone the United States of America, have to go through all of this? This Mr. Jimmy Layton, former chief of police for about 28, 30 years, former city manager, say Linda hadn't done nothing. But say these people will crump you up on charges and do anything, you'll see all, you don't have to take my word, you see. So there's no need of looking at me. All this has been documented. It has been sent to the governor of the state of Georgia. The Secretary of State are fully aware of it. The Georgia Attorney General and the United States Attorney General, Eric Holder, I'm sure, have received all of this stuff. And yet the people in these communities are left questioning why they should send their sons and daughters on foreign battlefields when the field that they live on need help.
People that don't know me don't know what to believe. Only thing they believe is what they see on television, which is like slander. And I've been harassed by the city administration, and it's really just gone too far. My civil rights have been violated very badly. All of my rights have been violated.
Now, if civil rights have been violated, allegedly or proven on tapes, and anybody of average intelligence can look and see, you don't even have to go to court to see that. And if we have a civil rights division, not only with Linda Harris and Mary Ann Whippaloo, but with others and other situations, and it seems as if though we are powerless even under our form of government. Now, should we not talk about it? If the controlled news media will not report it, then should not you pick up your iPhone, your Android, etc., 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 and if they don't do nothing, at least expose to the world, so the world would know what a real democracy looked like, so they could see if they want to be a democracy. Now, I didn't create this, y'all. Don't get angry with me.
Violated. Not only the state charter, which I ran on. I ran the campaign on the fact that I would be governed by our state charter, which our state charter has been violated, and I don't understand why the state representatives won't come in and help us and show the council that they are really violating the state charter.
What about your health condition? Just put additional stress on you. The reason I'm asking that is because I've been doing this, and the Quitman 10+2, one of those girls, the Quitman 10+2, is dead now. She had lupus, and this girl name is like Sister Head. I can't think of her first name now, but she died. It was originally 10 that were arrested in Quitman, Georgia, by District Attorney David Miller and Assistant District Attorney Brad Shealy, and the Brooks County School Board of Education had the first time in history of a black majority. And many people in that little small town believe that somebody tried even there to circumvent the voting process. And as you know, Governor Nathan Deal removed 3 of those people from the Brooks County Board of Education, I believe, and later only to have them reinstalled because they didn't go to trial. And now it's been 3 years and 6 months, and they still haven't gone to trial. And the sad thing about it is that now we see a pattern across the state of Georgia that's infringing upon voting rights, disenfranchising voters, the G.B.R. even intimidating people, according to the people in Brooks County. All that has been documented. Eric Holder, the Justice Department, Secretary Brian P. Kemp have sent his investigator down to Brooks County, and the meetings where they made official complaints was totally ignored. Now, if I am lying, all you have to do, CNN, Victor Blackwell, MSNBC, Al Sharpton, is to call me and you sit down and watch the video yourself. You see, this is what happens under a real democracy when the people want justice, when they want their mothers, their fathers, their sisters, their brothers to receive equal treatment under the law. They just deal with the facts. And if anybody can disapprove the truth that we have recorded on behalf of the American people, then you should call me in on national TV. I really don't care. And let's weigh the facts. Attorney General Eric Holder, President Barack Obama, just review the facts. That's all you have to do. And they're not just mine, because other people are doing the same thing now. Because they see the power of truth, and they see the power that people have over a government, and therefore the people are left powerless. Father, I talked to him, and he believed that the stress that was put on her resulted in her death, the association with lupus. So have you been under any stress lately?
I have been under stress. I've been to the doctor, to the hospital about 3 different times. I've developed a stomach problem. Had to go to the hospital for that as well. And I've just seemed like I've aged as well since I've been going through this. But it has put a little stress on me, not only me, but it's put stress on my family as well.
Okay, can we get one of the city council members here to come and address the camera? You have any members from the city council here to show up?
No, nobody from the council showed up.
Okay, well, former police chief, what's his name? Maybe he could come up. What's your name? Come up this minute. Yes,
Mr. Jimmy Layton.
Jimmy Layton, why don't you come up this minute? Once again, Mr. Jimmy Layton, hey, we want to hear from him. Mr. Jimmy Layton, what say you, my brother? I've noticed Mr. Jimmy Layton, he's spoken out not for any particular group. He's only been speaking up that I've heard is on behalf of our form of government. And what's your former position here in the city and your expertise? Let me help him out. He was the police chief, I understand, for 28 years, or 30 years. He's also served as the city manager, I understand. I don't blame him for not highlighting, I guess, these titles and positions. And he's going to tell you why and what is happening to him. And once again, it's not like the sheriff of Thomas County. It's not like the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp. It's not like the Attorney General, Sam Olsen. It's not like Governor Nathan Deal does not know about this. In terms of what happened to him. And he's not black. This is not a black or white issue. This is a right issue under our form of government. Now, let's listen to Mr. Jimmy Layton, and let's hear, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story.
I'm a concerned citizen. I feel like a lot of people voted for Linda here in the mayor. And they just basically took it away from her.
Now, they say just took the election away from her, just took her position away from her. Now, we're not talking about Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, or any other kind of stand. We are talking about here in the state of Georgia and in the United States of America. This is what he's talking about.
I don't understand how they could take our votes and just do away with them. I don't understand how they can keep people from coming in here and speaking. The civil rights has been violated. Amendments, everything you can think of, the charter. They had no council meeting at all in May.
No council meeting in May? No council meeting in May? The Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and the Governor of the state of Georgia? Georgia General Assembly don't care? And the news media are relying on people like me and others on Facebook and Twitter. My God, if we didn't have Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, think about it. Think about it. And then think about why your children are fighting and wearing the uniform today with this happening.
They violated the charter. They violated the Open Records Act. They have not replied to any one of us on the
They have not replied to the Open Records Act. Now, if years and decades ago, if they would have responded to me when I asked about the 31 jail deaths in Valdosta and Lowndes County, and why it's not being reported to the general public, and why Lowndes County are leading the state of Georgia in jail deaths, and yet nobody in the state of Georgia would even back up my open records requests that were denied me and the citizens in Lowndes County. It has been reported in the Atlanta Journal and Constitution that Lowndes County are leading the state of Georgia in jail death for whatever reason. They talk about the rats as big as cats. They talk about... let's get back on point. But guess what? Nobody cares.
Not only has it been harassment for Linda, looks like, But they've been calling my job where I work part-time.
Wait a minute now. This footage has already been sent out to the leaders in the state of Georgia. So this is not something new. They already are aware of it. But you will hear him say, and you will hear the mayor here say, that nothing is being done to stop this. Nothing. You see voters coming up. The meeting before this, there was 70 people outside, and they just posted a cancellation of the meeting approximately 3 hours before the meeting was supposed to take place, and all those 70 people showed up, but there was no meeting. And yet, Georgia elected officials, the state have been notified through video and through phone calls, and still nothing has been done here in the land of the free and the home of the brave, they say.
They called my job again last week, or week before last, and they called Post, which is Peace Officer Standard Training, said I was in the city of Meigs with my felon uniform on. Well, Post told them I could walk the city streets in Meigs or any other town with my uniform on. It didn't matter what kind of uniform I had on. Well, then they called the office and complained on me. And they told them at the office that I was on my own time. As long as I didn't break the law, they couldn't do nothing, wasn't going to do nothing. Well, then, that wasn't good enough. They called again. I think it was about a couple of weeks ago on a Friday, they called and complained to somebody in Camilla, I think, and then it went to the city manager, and the city manager to the, trying to get me saying I was on newscast with my police uniform on, that I was holding meetings with my police uniform on. And God knows, y'all know I ain't been up with my uniform on no meetings. Now, I've had my veterans cap on, and I've had my disability for veterans jacket on. I don't know, they must not maybe they can't tell the difference or something. Maybe they can't read. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, say you don't know what the problems is. And we don't know what the problems are either, but there's one problem we do know. We know that there's some serious problems in the state of Georgia. We've been trying to highlight it for 10, 20, 30 years. And the strange thing about it is that very few people seem to care. It seems as if though there's a clique, and those among the slicks are like ticks, and they dominate even the news media. Maybe they are contributors or investors or have ownership, and so the ship never gets out to be a true reflection of what the founding fathers put in black and white that this nation should be all about. And so there's a great possibility that instead of us sending our children to fight and die and to be wounded in foreign nations, just maybe this is the nation they should be focused on. I am a United States Armed Forces veteran. I say that a lot because I served to be able to say that. To me, what is so embarrassing is these people who are wounded, missing limbs here in Georgia, and they're not saying anything. Yet they took an oath and obligation to die for this nation. And then they come back home and talk about, I served in the Korean War, World War I, World War II, and all the other conflicts. But they won't fight here at home for themselves and their own children. Seems like to me, too many Americans are under the spell of the Leviathan, and they need to wake up. What say you, the American people? And my watchers in Korea, Canada, Africa, and around the world. You got to answer some questions, y'all.
but it's got to cease. We got to put this thing out. We got to get rid of this. We can't continue like this. The mayor does not know anything about what's going on. She does not know anything about financial situation.
What did he say? The finance situation. So now look, if Meigs are talking about the money and secret banking accounts in Gordon, Georgia, we got to ask a question. How many more banks, how many more cities may have the same problems that needs to be published in your local newspaper, but your newspapers and your television and your radio are so locked down and intertwined against the American people until we can't get it. We can't get it. But we'll get our boys and our girls out to join the military to go fight these wars for foreigners and donate billions of dollars to foreign nations. And many of our civil rights organizations have taken money from these corporations, and that's why they can't fight against Walmart. When you have problems, they'll let Walmart send you to hell and deeper into hell because they have taken $500,000 or $2 or $3 million from these corporations, and therefore they are silenced while the people here in America suffers. Then they get on TV and tell us we love our veterans. They'll say, thank you for your patriotism. Those words become like stink in the average veteran noses when they say, we thank you for your military service. If you thank us for our military service, give us the respect in terms of benefits that we earn that you keep backing away from. The world is watching us, and they're going to soon find out what a real democracy look like.
She has not been kept up to date like the water was off today. She knew nothing about it. I called trying to find out. We don't have qualified people up here.
If the mayor didn't know that the water was off, I mean, why did they elect her to office? If nobody told her that the water was off, I mean, if she runs for mayor again, how can the voters know who to vote for if the news media don't publish the information that will educate the voters so they can make a proper and intelligent decision? I'm not talking about in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, or Iran. I'm talking about here in the United States, where she ran and won, to be treated like this without pay, yet got to get money.
And we sure can't afford for all the police chief we got. We can't afford him driving the car to Albany and back. We can't afford that kind of stuff. And we can't afford these other cars going to Cuba.
Okay, okay, let me ask you a question. You mentioned something about some water being off. What do you mean water being off? I don't quite understand that.
They supposedly had a broke line, so the whole town was off, no water. Yeah. I was trying to find out what's going on because I've been home today, didn't have to work. I was supposed to work, but I didn't. My wife was sick, so I've been home trying to take care of housework.
Okay. And what's your name once again?
Jimmy Layton.
Okay, my last question to you, if you don't mind, unless you get other comments, is that you have said it before, and we have recorded you. Why do you think, again, that somebody out of Atlanta don't come in here or somebody and do something about what's going on here? What do you think about that?
I don't know. I tell you, I can't. I'm really confused about it. I can't really believe it. It seems like that they're either. At first, I thought it was because of some elections coming up, you know, and so they were tied up maybe in this one and that one. But you know, with all what's going on, you'd think there would have been an investigation called by someone in Atlanta. We've asked, I think. I believe one of our people has sent a letter to Atlanta asking for some help, some investigation. And I don't know if she's heard anything yet or not. So
you say she hadn't heard nothing?
we just, we just kind of on standby until we can get somebody that's not scared to come forward, that's not scared of losing a vote, and say what is going on, and check into it, investigate it, you know, then that's what we'll do. We need that. But so far we have no one that will seem to have the guts to come forward and check out what's going on out here.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Once again, we see. Once again, many people are asking if Georgia is a state of laws, or as I've been saying for years, even my criminal trespass, is that it seems like Georgia implement their own laws, do what they want. They don't have to report how many jail deaths in a county jail. They're not required to report how many deaths, I guess, that occur in state prisons for whatever reason. It seems as if, though, they don't want us to know. But they want us to brag and boast about we are a nation of laws and that we are the greatest nation when it comes down to open government and sunshine laws and freedom of religion and freedom of the press. But we had better wake up, y'all. We had better wake up. Now let's continue with telling a story that must be told. Here in the state of Georgia, the mayor is talking to, I think he's the mayor pro tem. He said, this is the mayor talking to the mayor pro tem who could not make the meeting and said they didn't have enough people and enough council members. Otherwise, they didn't have a quorum. So this is her talking to the mayor pro tem. Listen, please. She tried to call him back, but she could not. Nevertheless, we are here to do what other news media may not do. Once again, that's the mayor pro tem. He's aware of this meeting. But once again, the brothers of the mayor, you got anything else you want to say now?
Well, I just want
to... tell her what... This is Mayor Linda Harris. She's been through a lot, but let's listen. She just talked to Mayor Pro Tem. Let's see what she has to say. What happened just then, transpired?
Well, I just spoke with the mayor pro tem and I asked him why was the meeting canceled, and he said that he thought it was going to just be a meeting between 3 of the council members, and that it wasn't going to be the public that was going to be invited. So he said he didn't think that the public needed to be here, because he thought it was just a meeting between us, between 3 people, 3 council members, so we can iron our problems. But like I told him, if there is at least 4 council members, it has to be open to the public.
Yes.
And I told him I wasn't going to break the law like they've been breaking it, having private meetings. That's what's wrong with us today.
Now, this statement alone, in my opinion, should get the attention of somebody in the state of Georgia who cares about the Sunshine Law, the voting right process, and everyday common citizens' right to be heard under our form of government. Somebody, and these citizens in Georgia cannot be this ignorant. We cannot be that afraid of our government that we see this. And we see that no news media, no television, no radio, nobody is reporting this to the general public. So that means that all of this could have been lost in the cosmos forever. There would be nothing in the newspapers for a historic archival record, nothing on television for a historic archival record, nothing on radio for a historic archival record, nothing in the minds of the citizens to pass on to their children about what happened at this city council meeting in Meigs, Georgia, in the state of Georgia, in the United States of America, in God's world, because we don't have a free press that cares enough to inform the American people. That is indeed a disgrace when we talk about a democracy. And wake up, Americans.
All right, thank you very much. Brother Calvin, come up just a minute, brother. Now,
you have seen this young man before. This is one of the brothers to the mayor. And he's going to tell you a little about his experiences. But if you go back and check Meigs' playlist, you will see asphalt being paid for by the city and put on private property. And he was the one who used to work for the city. He was terminated wrongfully, he says, along with the black chief of police, who can't even get a right to stand before the city council in Meigs to say boo. In fact, they wouldn't even let other people talk on his behalf. But then again, as I said before, who cares?
I understand that you're related to the mayor.
Yeah.
What's your position, what's your relationship with the mayor, number one? And number two, what has happened to you as a brother here in Meigs, Georgia?
Yes, I'm the mayor's brother. I'm Calvin Eason, mayor's brother. My brother and I was downtown Meigs, and we had gotten arrested for being downtown Meigs for criminal trespassing. And I don't see what we...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Criminal trespass. There we go again. You have already seen on video... Let me stop. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Criminal trespassing in our own city where we pay taxes. Myself, I had just gotten off work, and I came to the stop sign of 111 in Georgia 3, and I see my brother parked here in the parking lot, in the parking spot, and my sister across the street. So I pulled up and I pulled behind him. And I commenced talking to him. Marsha DeMoga and Charles Quitman.
This DeMoga, I've seen her a couple of times, but she got to be a very powerful woman. You hear her name mentioned a lot. But it seems as if though there's a great possibility that she is pretty close to the city attorney. And it seems as if though the city attorney, as you will see on other videos, does not have any relationship with the mayor or connectedness to protecting the mayor's rights. Just like in Gordon, Georgia, the mayor there didn't seem to protect the mayor there or the council. It seemed like he was working against them. And then, of course, eventually it goes for the mayor pro tem as well, because the mayor pro tem and some council members ended up filing a suit against the same board in Gordon, Georgia, where they work for. I mean, they are suing the same board that they serve on. I have never seen a mayor pro tem. Let me get back on point. Let's go.
Pulls up over at the City Hall.
Now, who's Marsha DeMoga?
That's the, whatever she called herself,
okay.
The clerk,
okay.
Whatever. She pulls up her, with Charles, the city work supervisor. And they went inside, and police, lieutenant, whatever he proclaimed himself to be, went inside, and the next day, that Friday, my brother and I had to turn ourselves in for criminal trespassing, and myself for uniforms that I turned in. I'm being charged with theft of uniforms that I turned in, and I feel that if I hadn't turned the uniforms in, I wouldn't have received my last check.
Yesterday it was me, today it was Calvin, and tomorrow it's going to be you, your children, and possibly after Governor Nathan Deal leaves office, it may be his children or his grandchildren that get caught up in something like this. And then what you going to do then? We had better address these issues now before our form of government cracks and dissolve in the cosmos.
On top of that, I got a vacation check. It's all going to come to the end.
So you got a criminal trespass and you've been arrested?
Yes.
Okay. Your brother, can you come in, please? You know what I'm saying? But what happened to your brother? He's in there. What happened to him? Didn't he get a trespass or arrested or something?
He was also arrested.
Now, I don't know why Edward didn't come, but there's, I'm sure that Edward is a law-abiding citizen. And he was given, I forgot about that, a criminal trespass not to come back to this building for reasons that you can see on the video. This stuff is being documented. That he did not make any more noise. In fact, he didn't make as much noise as others at this meeting here in Meigs. And when you look at the meeting in Gordon, Georgia, and you look at the outburst there, and nobody was arrested, nobody was given a criminal trespass for which they were restricted. These brothers cannot even come to city council meetings where their sister as mayor preside because they are under a criminal trespass for little or nothing. Isn't that something? They cannot even come to the public meeting that their sister serves as mayor and not even getting paid for the position, and they can't even come. What say you, the good people of Thomas County, the state of Georgia, the United States of America, and the world? What say you? This is the land of the free, the home of the brave, and a lot of retired, disabled, and ordinary common veterans.
For criminal trespassing as well. Okay. And we went to court today for arraignment, and we pleaded not guilty. Right. So we have another continuing date, August 28th of this year.
Have you ever seen anything like this in the city of Meigs before? I'm sure you've been here a long time, haven't you?
Yes.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, I've been here pretty much all my life, and this is the first time out of all the mayors that has been mayor of Meigs, this is the first I've ever seen of this kind of.
Now, they're saying the same thing in Gordon. They're saying the same things in other Georgia towns where newly elected black mayors was voted into office not by a coup or anything else, but by the majority of votes. So this is nothing new. People of Meigs, you're not alone. People in Gordon, Georgia, you're not alone. People in Davisboro, you're not alone. People in Warrington, Georgia, you're not alone. People in Dawson, Georgia, you're not the only one that's going through these things, man. It's just that nobody in Atlanta cares enough about you and your vote to respect you by answering your questions and bringing down the tensions that exist in these Georgia towns. Sorry for the interruptions, but you can watch this entire video on this same channel, Meigs playlist, without me talking and snipping it and doing it like this, because you do have a right to know. Then Google ABC, then Google NBC, then Google CNN with Victor Blackwell, then Google MSNBC with Al Sharpton, and you won't get none of this. None of it.
Matter that's going on now.
And what do you think about the meeting? Once again, this is not the first time this happened about scheduling a meeting, canceling a meeting, and not notifying the general public. This is not the first time, am I correct?
No, it's not the first time. Anything that the mayor tries to do should be stopped by the city manager, city manager,
In closing, any closing remarks you want to give before we close down?
Well, we just want our city to get in order, and whoever there is out there that can't help, we're begging for help. We've been begging for help since January, and we don't.
Now, it's not just my words. I got the words from the people on the street. It's all been documented on Meigs, Georgia playlist. Now you hear the brother of the mayor, a citizen, an employee, a taxpayer, saying we've been not asking, but he's saying we've been begging.
Seem to be getting anywhere, and I'm hoping that this will meet the press somewhere where we can start going forward with our city.
Why do you think there's no TV station that's coming to the Ghetto Free Press, and the mayor just handed me a... Well, I could go on, but I think I'll stop it here. The mayor just handed me a document, and I do believe that, man, you might want to hear about that. Let's take a look at that. We are back, and it's all in black and white and color. You know, I got a call yesterday from a beautiful lady who commended me for what I'm doing here. And I want to thank you for your comments. And to all the people who comment me negatively, I want to thank God for you too. And you will never see me strike out at you with the venom that you send my way. Because it's not about me. And I love you so much that I know that you need truth. And that's all I intend to give you, is the truth. Back on point. Mayor Linda Harris gave me this form as I was standing, and now I'm going to share a little bit more with you about Meigs, Georgia.
A copy of the agenda for tonight's meeting. And of course, there were no meeting. And it's obvious that under Governor Nathan Deal, Attorney General Sam Olens, Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, we all can see that there's major problems here in the state of Georgia. I have been labeled many dirty names.
And I think we'll close it right there. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Boss Rhymes. I do what I do because it must be done. Do you care? Does the governor of the state of Georgia, Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, Georgia Attorney General, or Eric Holder of the Justice Department, do they care? If they care, don't you think they ought to do something to bring these communities in line with our form of government so we could be respected around the world? Bye-bye.